to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirisho here. Now then, whenever we last left off, Deku, he had a bit of a heavy blow to his artillery. Now, what I mean by a bit of a heavy blow is that Deku, he had the Monarch, North Star, and Ion get heavily damaged. North Star may be salvageable and Ion maybe too, but well, the Monarch is devastated, along with the Hulk Buster. Now, Deku, in the process, whenever Monarch was being detonated to try and keep the Nomu distracted, or at least buy time for the heroes, him and Mei got caught in the blast, although Deku used his body to shield Mei from the impact, and he was heavily injured in the process. So let us start there. Now, Deku, he is actually talking with, Deku, he is being carried out of the USJ, as he cannot keep his eyes open. Mei and Bakugo are trying to talk with Deku, and Deku just keeps mumbling, as they keep trying to get his attention. As Mei would just pull up Deku's arm and begin by telling BT to scan his vitals and give us a report on the pilot, which is whenever BT would go on saying that pilot is injured. His back is believed to be broken. Scorch marks and impact wounds may suggest shrapnel in his body, along with what can possibly be hemorrhaging in his brain. Report for medical analysis immediately and advised. Pilot's, rate of survival is falling below 50%, as they would get to UA. They would run into Recover Girl's office, as Recover Girl is in shock watching this. She would just tell them to put him down, and then she will call as many doctors as she can. Well, she would do what she can to get him stable. While that is happening, Hasashi, he would have been called and notified about the incident, since, the old man that supported Deku with his warped tech, getting the Titans there in the first place, would have told Hasashi exactly what happened, which in turn would have made him turn around and call UA. Now then, Mei is trying to figure this all out, as her hands are shaking. She's trying to get a handle on the situation and trying to figure this all out, while Bakugo would just tell her that it's going to be fine, and that they need to wash their hands and, get cleaned up. As Mei would just look down. She sees that her hands there aren't just shaking, they're covered in blood. As she somewhat just hesitates for a second. Bakugo seeing this in her face. He would just say that the nerd, he wouldn't want us to be worried about him. Besides, he'll pull through. As Bakugo would somewhat just look away. Now then, around 10 to 20 minutes later, this is whenever Hasashi, he can be seen bursting into the Recover Girl's office, asking exactly where is Midoriya, as he would run in and try helping Deku. Recover Girl has gotten him stable, but he does need to go through surgery. And this is where things get a bit more complicated. After Deku gets stable and Mei and her mom arrive there, seeing exactly what happened to Deku, it would be found that Deku's body, the state it was in, was not good. They did find shrapnel in him from his wounds, and they pulled out quite a bit, along with a piece from his spine, which Mei's heart would kind of sink whenever she hears that sentence. To where Deku, he's somewhat mumbling. They're trying to figure out exactly what he's saying, but they can't even do that. Now, BT, he's in the wrist-mounted computer that is just sitting down on the table next to Deku. As they would just say that he just needs to rest now. While Hasashi, he is devastated, along with Inko finally arriving, seeing exactly what's happened to her baby. Now, she would just walk over and ask exactly what happened and to tell her exactly everything. To which Mei would just turn, saying that it all happens too fast. She just remembers the nanites, they stopped working. She ran out of power. And the idiot. It should be me lying in that bed, not him. As she just remembers one thing. She remembers seeing Deku basically laying over her, as he somewhat smiled, before pulling her in close and hiding her from the blast. To which she would just say that it doesn't make sense. Now, this is whenever Inko would just say that he cares about you. Can't you see? You two are friends, yes, but you're also, well, you spend too much time together. You're nearly inseparable. To which Mei, before she burst into tears, would just do one thing. Picking up the wrist-mounted computer that is on the table, sliding it over her hand and asking BT to analyze Deku. To which BT would have been a bit hesitant, saying that he cannot authorize the request. To where she would just say that this is about the pilot's survival rate, and exactly his condition. It is to protect the pilot, so you will override. Which is whenever BT, following this parameter, would override, as Mei begins to scan Deku, asking exactly what is his current state. Which is whenever BT would just say that his body is heavily injured, burn marks, scars, and what seems to be a form of paralysis are basically what are shown. Mei, hearing that last part, would just think that that's crazy. Now, she would just tear up as she just thinks that Deku is an idiot. As she would eventually leave, running out of the room. Now, as Mei and BT run out of the room, Inko would just be sitting there. As her calm facade finally breaks and she bursts out into tears. Now then, Mei, she's heading back to the tech lab as, whenever she does arrive, she sees Hasashi, asking exactly what is he doing. To which he would just say that he's having trouble. He's never wanted to do this for Deku, but it seems like he may. That boy is a stubborn bastard. Well, he's my son, I know, and he is Inko's son. However, I don't think you understand how right that may be. As Mei would just see a pair of blueprints sitting on the table. She would just ask exactly what is that for, as to which Hasashi would just look at her, and she sees exactly the look in his eyes, knowing it's for Deku. To which Hasashi would just say that they used to have these authorized for pilots back before the 1st century. Around 60 years after the initial program, they still didn't use nanotech. They didn't have access to it yet. They weren't there. These devices, they are connected directly onto your spine and can be implanted in. Basically, it's like rewiring the nervous system. So, Exactly what are you doing? I'm giving my son his legs back. To which Hisashi would immediately look and see that she has BT, as she would just ask to see that for a second. She would just slip it off of her arm as she would hand it over to Hisashi. He would immediately just put it on and open the computer, asking BT for a 3D blueprint of what Deku looks like, and for a full body map, to which BT would provide. As he sees a hologram of Deku standing up, he would just say that that's perfect, as he begins to hold up and actually mess with some tech, saying that this is basically a nanite interface. If Luxo has it, then his quirk should work with it. It's going to allow him to somewhat create more nanites. This will boost the process, but him just doing it in his bloodstream won't work. Besides, if this works, I can somewhat get the nanites into his nervous system. At least trying to repair the damage. As May would just say that he's not in this alone. No. They would begin working for the next few days, while Deku is somewhat comatose. Eventually he would wake up as he's looking around. He finds that he's in a hospital, but what's going on? As he tries to move upwards, he uses his arms and slides his body upwards as he's sitting up, asking exactly what happened. As to which Inko, she would walk into the room. Seeing Deku awake, she would just immediately run over and cry as she hugs him and tells him that he was being reckless. But he saved his girlfriend. As Deku's just saying, "Girlfriend? What?" She would immediately just back away from Deku as she says that isn't May your girlfriend? No, we're friends. Well, you stopped the blast from hitting her. The way she spoke about you, it seems like I thought you two were closer. The way she spoke about me? What? As Deku tries to move his legs. As soon as he does so, he would fall out of the bed, finding that he can't move. He just looks upwards, asking exactly what's going on, as he tries to stand up over and over and over again. Inko would just tell Deku that he can't walk anymore. Whatever you did, it protected May, yes, but there was a problem. As she would give Deku the full explanation, even showing him the bin, or at least a picture of it, with the shrapnel. The piece that they dug out of Deku's back being the largest. Now, after that, Deku, he would be released, albeit in not a fun way. A wheelchair. Which somewhat breaks his heart. He would head home as people would try and visit Deku. They're basically outside the community gate as they keep saying that they know this guy. He is in danger. Or, well, he was, but he lives here, so just let us through. To which the security guard would just say, not a chance. They need to have a card, or at least identification showing that they live here. As Deku and Inko would pull up. They would just see that Deku is actually here, and they'd try and talk to him. However, they'd be a bit surprised whenever Deku, he doesn't step out of the car immediately. As they watch Deku get wheeled past, and immediately just start heading for the tech lab. As Inko would just say that they are all friends of her son. To which the security guard would have let them through. As everyone keeps trying to catch up with Deku. They would be trying to talk with him as Deku just isn't saying anything, just wheeling faster and faster and faster, as they eventually come to the store. Deku finally opening it and them all going in, as they ask exactly what happened and why are you okay? To which Deku would just turn, finally shouting, no, he's not. This isn't something he's ever thought would have happened to him. I can't move my legs. To which they would just say that it should be okay, you'll be fine. You wanted to be a pilot, you'll be in that suit. So, as Deku would just say that everything is gone. The only thing he has left is BT, and as he just holds up his arm, pulling back his sleeve, saying he doesn't even have him anymore. As he walks through the tech lab door, slamming it, as people would look at him. They would just see if he's okay, and the old man would walk up to him, saying that it was at least noble what he did. To which Mei would come running up and see Deku. Her heart would sink for a second as she somewhat just tries having confidence in this. Immediately running over to him, saying that it's good to see him again. To which Deku, he would just say that it's good to see her again. Are you okay? Well, yeah, actually, thanks to you. As she somewhat looks down and away from Deku. Deku knowing exactly why she's looking away from him. He would just move past her as he says that this isn't going to stop him. Nothing will. We both know that. So I'm going to find a way around this. To which Mei would just turn around saying that her and his dad have somewhat been trying already. To which Deku would just look back at her, asking what does she mean? To which Hisashi would come walking up to Deku, saying that if this works then he should be able to walk again. To which Deku just looks at his dad. He somewhat tears up as he just says that it's going to work. Besides, as he begins to cry, saying that the two of us working together have always been unstoppable. As Kirishima and Bakugo and everyone else, they're somewhat just looking at this. They open the door for the lab, but they have not walked in. As Deku would make his way over to the workstation they are at. He begins to do what he does best. Create. Now then. Eventually they'd get the prototype working, as Deku has something best described as this. Not the entire suit, just something to connect the lower back to the legs and to the spine. This is exactly where Deku was hit with his injury, along with it making its way up to his neck and somewhat into his brain, allowing it to tap into his nervous system with a series of needles that can inject nanites. Now, whenever they get the prototype working, Deku, he would somewhat be able to move, and actually step out of the chair, being a bit happy, as he somewhat tears up. Now, this would work, but it would have a time limit, because it does run off of a different type of power. Now, Deku would at least use this time to ask exactly what happened to his suit. Since, well, he knows that Ion's in pieces, but he can at least try putting them back together. So, this is going to be different. To which his dad would just open up the door saying that they were able to at least get most of it back. As Deku would see a giant truck dropping off the salvage. He sees North Star in pieces along with Ion, and what seems to be pieces of the Monarch. He holds up a piece of shrapnel from it as he just stares at it, realizing that the suit that hit him, or the piece that hit him, was from Monarch. Somewhat thinking that his own invention. Well, this isn't going to stop him, as Deku would get back to building, along with Mei. Now, in this time, Mei does at least try and help Deku modify the tech that is helping him walk, along with actually getting things a bit more suited, as in Deku using his quirk to find out exactly what he can improve, while his dad and Mei's mom, along with more and more scientists, are trying to improve this technology in itself. Someone finding that the best way to do it may be to actually perform surgery on Deku's back, so it could properly work. Basically allowing an interface in his back and into his body, augmenting himself. Deku, after a bit of time, would have thought about this himself, but thinking that that would be a bit risky. So he just wants to keep it at this level for now, but he would improve upon the tech in himself, using more and more nanites, until a conversation gets brought up by Mei that Deku didn't really think about. He was a bit focused, trying to keep his mind occupied, as she would just ask Deku one question. Why did you do it? Do what? You saved me. You saved me, but it cost you a lot. Why? Well, I don't know. As Deku would stop what he's doing, setting down his wrench and sitting down, as he somewhat just folds his hands outwards and messes with them, saying that he somewhat just thought he needed to. He saw that she was in danger. She was just too vulnerable. It's not something I'm used to seeing. My reaction was to just get you out of there or protect you. So that's what I did. It's just that as Deku would turn, Mei immediately just walking over to him, as she would just sit down in his lap, saying that that's fine. She would pull him in for a kiss, which people they would just see for a minute before they go back to working, at least allowing these two a moment. As she would pull away, saying that she gets it. She understands completely. Although this little setback, we can use it. Heroes don't break. Remember that. Let that be your motto. They try to break you and you just put yourself back together stronger. As Deku would just kiss her once again, saying that maybe he can be the next symbol. A symbol to put the pieces back together and not let the past define you. That if you are stronger, you won't look back on it. You'll just look forward and keep trying to improve. As Deku would just stand up, smiling, as he would give someone a call. He would call up anyone he can in class, along with Bakugo, allowing them to the lab. As he would just say that it's nice to see everyone again, as they see him actually standing. He would just say that after a bit of time, it's been difficult, but, well, as he would immediately press down his wrist, as Ion would walk outside. He would just say that he has been a bit too busy, so allow me to properly demonstrate these guys. These guys? As North Star would walk out too. North Star and Legion, along with Tone. They would just be in shock looking at all these robots. As Deku would just say that, yeah, it's kinda difficult, but you guys haven't seen nothing yet. As Deku just disappears. As a pilot bay would open, you would see Deku just sitting down in the Legion Titan. As he somewhat steps out, saying that he's sorry but he could not pass up that offer. To which people are confused. Deku would just say that he calls that the Hollow Pilot. Or, well, it's called the Hollow Pilot. Creating a lot of this stuff was hard, but he mainly uses what he remembers scanning at the museums. So, well, it's a bit weird. Besides, you guys have seen nothing yet, as Deku would do one thing. He would just use the phase technology, as he moves into a different dimension. As that happens, he's looking around. The lab is a bit different now. It's a different building. This was not supposed to happen. So, crap, I'm in another reality. Did I not fix this goddamn thing? As Deku somewhat just hits his wrist. He begins to walk around as he sees something he didn't think he would ever see. He sees another version of himself, except this seems to be like a mall or something. He sees that there's a version of himself participating in the sports festival. As he watches a tsunami of fire swirl right around that one. As whenever it does, he watches this Deku, or himself, immediately throw someone out of it, as it would reveal exactly what happened to them. They were untouched or unscathed by the fire, so how did that happen? Wait, is that? No, that can't be. As this Deku would immediately shift back. He is less than 20 feet away, as people would turn around and look for him. They would see him, but he still looks a bit confused, as he would just turn around, saying that his face shift. Lasts a bit longer this time, but well, you guys get it. As he puts on the back of his head that version of himself. So, exactly what does phase shift do? Well, it's supposed to allow me to move through dimensions for a short period of time. Oh, like the game, right? So, what's it like? Well, it's similar, but not what you expect. As Kaminari would just say that he would like to give that a shot. Deku would just say not really a good idea, but, well, he can try Legion. To which they would all just hang out for a minute as they're beginning to mess around. Hasashi and Mei's mom getting done with the latest prototype. Now then, that is going to be where I leave this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.